Suit up in the state volleyball playing game on home court. Tonight they face a hungry Notre Dame team looking for the road upset at John J. McMahon Gym. It's the Sentinels and Saints live right here on the campus of Seton Catholic on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Pequeno alongside the talented, multi-talented Rachel Martinez. Thanks for joining us. Coach John Engelbert's team fought through the season, grabbing the 15th seed with a record of 15-14, finishing second in the Desert Sky at 8-4. Rachel, a very talented team, and of course they're led by the man with incredible hops, Isaiah Kubisak, and his 258 kills.
This is going to be a great game tonight. I'm excited to see how Seton pairs up against Notre Dame. You have two heavy hitters here in the middle. Just watching Notre Dame get warmed up. Number 5 in the middle, Timmy Matura, was firing all the way. I think last game that we were here, Seton ran a 6-2 offense with their 2 setters, and that worked out really well for them, and they were able to have 3 hitters up in the front row at all times, and it's excited to see what type of offense they're running tonight.
And Rachel, you kind of talked about the last time they were on home court, a heartbreaking 5-set loss to Mesquite. That cost them a potential share of the Desert Sky regular season title, but you can't look back, you have to look ahead. So tonight they face the 8-9 Notre Dame squad. 3-7 in the 4A West Valley, led by Coach Andrew Clark. They're the 18th seed. And look, talk about a team that's made tremendous strides, a team that was 0-13 last year. A year later, ambitious, hungry, and in the playoffs.
Notre Dame has just made so many big strides this year. I mean, taking down Seton on their home court is going to be huge. Like we said, you can't look back in the past as you're moving forward, but you can remember how that felt a little bit as you're back on your home court, especially for the first round of playoffs. And coming off of a 5-set loss from Mesquite, I think this Seton squad is ready to get to work tonight.
So both these squads had their time to warm up on home court right here at John J. McMahon Gym. We'll take a short timeout as Terry Lick, the fine assistant in the athletic department, will do the intros for the game and give the school prayer and the national anthem, and we'll talk more about this matchup and the starting lineup right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. So while we're doing team introductions, I'll kind of rifle them off for you. Notre Dame starting lineup: number 7, Gabe Garcia; number 11, Martin Hammond; number 8, Cameron Hartman; number 5, Timmy Matura, as Rachel mentioned a short time ago; number 4, Tyler Schlarb; number 2, Nate Weber; and number 10, Casey Hartman. On the other side, for the Seton Catholic Sentinels, number 2, the sophomore, Alejandro Burns, the setter; number 7, the senior, middle blocker, Bobby Heim; number 11, senior, Enzo Palmieri in that middle as well; number 13, junior, Nick Parada, the setter; number 14, junior, Jonathan Johnson Rieger. He'll be all over the floor; number 21, senior, a man with incredible hops on the outside, Isaiah Kubisak; and number 22, junior, on the outside, Armin Abdal. And while the intros are continuing, we'll take a short time out. And coming up is the school prayer and the national anthem. We appreciate you dialing us up on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Joe Pequeno alongside Rachel Martinez. Live action in this playoff matchup between Notre Dame and Seton Catholic. We are just moments away. And we are just moments away from this play-in playoff game between Notre Dame and the Seton Catholic Sentinels. And Rachel, these two squads met just a short time ago in April, with Notre Dame coming out on top in 5 sets. Now it's the Sentinels with an opportunity to return the favor. You've been in this situation before for the Sentinels. What are they thinking as they head into this matchup?
They look like they're fired up. They've been ready to go all day. I mean, just seeing them at school, it's all that they've been thinking about. So I think that it means so much more being in the second part of the season in playoffs, because right now it's do or die. They have to do it to win in advance. So it just means that much more, especially to the seniors.
And you know this squad inside and out. You know a lot of the players, classmates and so forth. Keys to the Sentinels in this matchup?
You know, I think tonight just applying that service pressure is going to be really important, especially watching their last game against Mesquite. They had a lot of missed serves, so keeping that ball in play and letting the other team make the errors, especially at this point in playoffs, is really important. So
we look at them up front. We see Kubisak, Parada, Palmieri up front, Alejandro Burns in the back line, Johnson, Rieger, Bobby Heim. You got Armin about to serve. When you see the personnel on the floor for the Sentinels, how versatile is it?
I think it's very versatile. It looks like right now they're running a 6-2, which is great. We saw Nick Parada hitting some pretty hard shots in warm-up, so it'll be good to get him going on the right side, just giving more options for Alejandro, and starting with Armin with his serve. He's one of the best servers on the team, so it's going to start Sentinels off well.
And here we go from John J. McMahon Gym. Armin fires it across. Saints getting into the offense. The knock across. Good block by Paul Murray at the net. Burns setting up the right side. Parada high and hard, and that one goes long. And Notre Dame gets on the ball to start that one. No question, the energy flowing in a big way. Maybe a little too much Parada right out of the gates as he tried to slam that one and force the early point for the Sentinels.
Looks like there might be a touch call.
And they're talking this one over. The ref's about to talk this one. So Saints doing a good job of getting into their offense, and the Sentinels in position. Parada with an opportunity from the right side came up and tried to lay down the hammer as the refs talked this one over. And as we look at the student body, the pink flamingo is out in force, and that is Sentinels tradition. We've got fans from both sections for Notre Dame visiting from, of course, in the higher end of Scottsdale, and for the Sentinels as well. So good thing they talked things over. There was a deflection on Notre Dame's part, so the Sentinels get the call, and Parada gets redemption on the attack. So Armin will get the opportunity to keep this early momentum going for the Sentinels. Knocks it off. Saints get it back over. Right side again. Parada bringing the heat. Good job by the Saints on the back end. They just knock it across. Kubisak tried to save it at the net, and unfortunately could not. And now we get to see the Saints offensively for the first time in this one.
Yeah, tough luck there on that one ball. Just trickled over the net. It's a tough one to pick up.
Nate Weber serving for the Saints. Isaiah off the top of the net. Palmieri bringing the heat. Good job by the Saints on the back end. Weber gets it across and make that Owen Rowalski a little bit too much pressure on that back end. So Sentinels now with a 2-1 lead as Palmieri gets an opportunity to go to work.
That's some pretty solid volleyball so far, just swinging away.
Dame gets it across a little bit too deep, and that one hits the back line. Armin kind of gambled and in that position, lost that battle, and Notre Dame will stay on serve with Sharp firing away. 3-2 Notre Dame early in the first set. Armin, this time he's there, setting it up. That back end looked like almost a lack of communication by the Sentinels. Now they're setting up their offensive attack, and Mr. Heim, bombing.
Big block by Mr. Heim right there. Underrated part of that play, though, was a save by Johnson Reger. He was ready to go. There was a little bit of a miscue between the setter and the middle, and that's honestly one of my favorite parts about being a libero is seeing that ball was about to drop, and he just went for it. No hesitation, and then, of course, Mr. Heim finishing off with the big block. Love to see it.
Right there in the middle, Parada fires it across. Good job on getting it. A good quality serve that Martin Hammond could not handle, so the Sentinels jump out with a 4-3 lead. Of course, the Sentinels coming off that physical battle against Mesquite to end the season. They were hoping to pull that one out and maybe get a potential higher seed, but here they are still in the postseason, and they get another point as Notre Dame couldn't handle the service attack, so now a 5-3 Sentinels lead as Parada goes to work on the serve.
Early run on for the Sentinels. As long as they keep this serve in, a little pressure on the serve as well, they're going to be golden for the rest of this set.
And the Saints just trying to get it across. And the Sentinels stay on offense as Parada.
That's already 2 unforced errors for the Saints in a row, so as long as Seton keeps the ball on their side of the net and allows the other team to make the errors, keep rolling.
Saints getting across, Jonathan Johnson-Rieger setting up Kubisak, and Kubisak bringing the lumber on the left side.
What the swing by Special K. And we're just getting started. 10 points in the match. He's firing.
And Rachel Martinez firing the dagger with the Special K comment. Loving it from the senior from Seton Catholic. Saints trying to get the ball across. Heim right there in the middle, a little touch. Notre Dame alive and kicking on their offensive attack, and that one goes out of bounds. And right now the Sentinels are rolling. They are on a 5-0 run to grab an 8-3 lead.
I love that tip by Robert Heim. I think as long as the boys start tapping into their volleyball IQ toolbox a little bit more, switching those shots up in the court, that'd be a great way to score some points.
Parada firing another missile across, and Jonathan Johnson-Rieger tried to set up Armin in the back end and could not. So the Saints go back to work offensively, and we're 12 points in. Rachel, the Sentinels showing a lot of versatility and really setting up their outside hitters well.
Yeah, I think that the setting has improved a lot over this whole course of the season for the Sentinels. They're putting the hitters in better locations to score more points for the team.
Timmy Matura, as Rachel talked about early in the show, on the serve for Notre Dame, and David Nakla in an awkward position, whether to spike or he found himself just trying to get the ball over the net, could not. So the point in favor of Notre Dame, and the lead is cut to 3 with Matura on the serve. Jonathan Johnson-Rieger, good set, and Bobby Heim, he's blocked in the net. Martin Hammond, big, tall, physical specimen in the middle, got high, got up in the vertical, and it's very rare that Bobby Heim is going to get blocked in the middle, and that time he met his maker right there, someone who could match his size and physicality.
Yep, we knew that it was going to be a matchup between the middles here tonight, and Martin Hammond was right there.
So Armin right there in the back end. Heim looking for the soft spot. Saints coming on that attack, and Owen Rafalski just a little bit too much on the spike attempt. So the Sentinels with a 9-6 lead.
Questioning the call here. I mean, Seton Catholic got the point, so no matter what, but they were questioning if the middle was over the net with the back row setter.
Kubisak trying to get the information from the line judge, and now Isaiah will go to work. Isaiah fires it, just glazes the top of the net. Martin Hammond, good work, and Hammond right in that middle does it again, and the lead is now cut to 2 with the Saints going to work. This time around, it's Cameron Hartman on the serve, as Martin Hammond doing some damage in that middle. And Rachel, if you're trying to get Hammond out of the zone right now, and he's really taking control for Notre Dame, what do you try to do? As Bobby Heim just gets the point right back.
Slam down, slam dunk by Bobby Heim. You'd think he played basketball at that type of move. Nope, playing to play baseball at the next level next fall. But, you know, if we're looking at the Saints side to kind of slow down their middles, you want to get them out of systems. I mean, serving tougher, swinging a little bit harder. When the pass is off the net from the 12-foot line range, it's really tough to run their middle and get a fast tempo set. So I think just overall applying more pressure to Notre Dame.
So good point going back and forth, and Casey Hartman at the net could not get the soft touch over, so the Sentinels get the point, now up 11-7. And one of my favorite servers for the Sentinels, Mr. Reliable, Jonathan Johnson-Rigger on the attack. And just as I say that, I curse him. And immediately the point goes back the other way. But usually, we're talking about a young man, when he's on the service line, always consistent, always gets the ball over the net.
Yeah, Johnson-Rigger is just a consistent player overall for Seton. He's passing dimes most of the time. He passes, great server, solid communicator. He's just a consistent player. You know what you're going to get every time he's on the court.
And good work in the middle by Enzo Palmieri. A 12-8 Sentinel lead.
Alejandro back on the court. Something that you see a lot in this 6-2 is a couple more miscues than usual, especially because you have a new setter every 3 rotations, so they have to connect with their hitter. They come off the court, their hands can get a little bit of cold. So that's just one of the downsides to one of the 6-2, but of course you have 3 hitters up with that type of offense as well.
So Kubicek in that back end, keeping things alive, and Parada tries to fire a missile, and that one goes long. And the Sentinels kind of trading points back and forth here, and maybe a good thing, Martin Hammond is out of the middle, and he's on the service attack for the Saints as they try to close in on the Sentinels and close in on a 3-0 deficit. Burns fires up on that right side, and it drops in. Good job by Palmieri.
Started off with the dot there by Johnson-Rigger. Again, reliable, consistent player.
3-point lead now extends to 4, 13-9, with Armin Abdal giving it a rip. Saints getting into their offensive attack, that right side, and right there, Nick Parada getting up like a champ.
What an aggressive block by Parada. We saw that aggressive blocking tone come out last 5th set against Mesquite, and he's starting it up again. You love to see that at the net. I always love playing against big physical blockers. 14-9
as Armin lets it rip. Saints working that right side, and once again, this time it's Isaiah Kubicek, Special K, bringing the goods.
Monster block, jumping up, getting up high. You love to see it. He's just seeing the ball and getting it, grabbing it high at the net, shoving it down. I love playing behind blockers like Special K.
And a timeout is called on the floor as the Saints have ripped off 3 points in a row to take a 6-point lead. So if you're Coach John Engelbert right now, you're up 15-9. What's the message right now to your squad, Rachel?
I'd say just keep up the pressure. Something that is a bit interesting, you can compare tennis to volleyball a little bit. It's a coin term by Gold Medal Square. It's the BYU volleyball gym. It's getting ahead in the point. They relate it to tennis. So in tennis, you want to try to apply pressure to the other side so that when the ball comes back over, it's not as intense. It's easier to manage on your side. I think Seton's doing a great job of that. They're putting a lot of pressure on, getting ahead in the point, so when the ball comes back over, it's easier to handle, can set up their hitters in a better position. So I say Seton's doing a great job of that.
And so far they've come out. Their setters have set out their outside hitters well, playing pretty consistent volleyball with a 6-point lead as they look for revenge after dropping a match to Notre Dame just a couple weeks ago. And for a lot of these players, it hasn't kicked in yet, Rachel, but soon enough. What's the emotions like for these young men knowing that this, for the seniors, this could be the last time on their home court?
You know, I think there are a lot of emotions, but it's hard to think about while you're in the moment, especially because at volleyball, you don't want it to make it an emotional game. Volleyball is already very emotional as it is with the loud crowd and everything going on, and if emotions run a bit too high, you can't control your side of the court. So I think they're trying to stay focused in this playoff run. So
Alejandro setting up that left side, and Isaiah Kubicek once again bringing the thunder.
And what's new, Isaiah Kubicek jumping up high, taking advantage of the low block on the right side for Notre Dame and putting that ball away.
16-9, the Sentinels on a nice run, rolling off 4 straight points. Armin lets it fly, another good serve. Hammond trying to set up that offense. Saints, this time Enzo Palmieri try to deflect it. This one goes out of bounds, so that stops the Sentinels' 4-0 run. Now the Saints look to claw back in this one. And on serve is Nate Weber, as Andrew Clark and his squad look to draw closer in this play-in matchup. Johnson-Rigger, Burns, right side, Kubicek. Ball tipped out the net. Johnson-Rigger gets it back over. Saints trying to set up their middles, and once again, we've seen it before, Rachel. Sometimes a lack of communication could be the letdown of any great relationship, and that was the case right there for the Saints.
Yeah, I think that Seton's doing a great job of staying composed. Notre Dame has a couple of miscommunications already in this set, and Seton Catholic is taking advantage of it when the ball comes back over. It's great for them playing clean volleyball right now.
Martin Hammond on that back end, setting it up, and Saints trying to bring it from the outside. And Parada just gets it over as the Saints go into their offensive attack. Good block at the net. Armin on that back end. Bobby Heim just tried to knock it across. Burns, I think, was trying to set up Kubisak on the outside, came up short, and Bobby in just desperation mode trying to save the point.
You know, so far this set, Seton's been doing a great job of managing sets that aren't necessarily there. In the past, we've seen Seton kind of going crazy and hitting the ball away as hard as they can, which isn't always the best thing to do if they can't manage it. And swing, of course, by Isaiah Kubisak. I think it's third or fourth kill of the night, just getting started. But Seton's been doing better this set of managing those sets that aren't completely there and keeping the ball in play. As you can see, Robert Heim had a hang time of probably 30 seconds in that play.
Yeah, I think he's still hovering over the clouds. Parada on the serve as the Saints looking at the uphill battle. Good block at the net, and they rule in favor of the Saints. So coming into this matchup, Rachel, you had a chance to talk to Isaiah Kubisak. What was his feelings like, the emotions of coming into this matchup? How focused was he going into here?
Kubisak has been focused this entire season, and especially going off into playoffs. You know, people always say that playoffs is like a whole new second season, and he is just locked in and ready to go. He knows what it takes to win a couple playoffs games and make a deep run, and that's exactly what his goal is for Seton. So I know volleyball's been on his mind all day. So
the Sentinels can't connect on that net as Timmy Mature once again on the serve. Sentinels with an 18-13 lead. Johnson Rigger digs it out. Parada this time fires up to Kubisak, and Kubisak doing what he does, and what he does is oh so good. Delivers the block, delivers the spike, finds the middle of the floor, and the Sentinels now up 19-13.
Yeah, look at that solid pass by Johnson Rigger. I love to see him in that libero jersey. He's doing a great job tonight, leading the court as well as getting those great passes to start off the play.
That time, David Nakla cannot block the attack by Owen Rafalski.
Just a solid touch by Nakla. He just presses his hands over the net a little bit more. Again, first-time volleyball player, Nakla, first year. So it'll be interesting to see as he gets more experience under his belt. He'll press a little bit more over the net and be making those big-time blocks.
Cameron Hartman with an opportunity. Too much adrenaline flowing there. Serve is long. So now a 20-14 Sentinel lead as Johnson Rigger, once again, one of the best servers on this squad. This time, does me justice, gets it over, and the Saints just trying to keep it alive. Parada, right side, Nakla, good job by Parada. Johnson Rigger setting up the other side, and Armin as it hits the part of the net, the obstruction up top, and the Saints get the point. And
yeah, I really like that play by David Nakla, using the block, getting the ball back on their side of the net. Seton just could have managed that a little bit more, a little bit better out-of-system set, but they're right there.
And Owen Rafalski gives it right back, and that right there, Rachel, it's got to be such the killer. You get the point back, you got the opportunity, and you just give it right back on the service game.
Yep, especially in a ball where it just bounces right off the top of the tape. Always a heartbreaker.
So Alejandro Burns, the sophomore, nice serve across, and the Saints on the back end could not handle it. Too much for Timmy Matura. Instead of bringing it forward, knocked it backwards, took a wild spin, and the Sentinels now closing in. Timeout on the floor. Sentinels with a 7-point lead. Timeout on the floor for Notre Dame, and for John Engelbert and his team in a good position as they look to close this out. What is his emphasis in this conversation?
I think emphasizing the clean volleyball that they're playing right now would be great. I mean, Seton has not made too many errors. If any, they're just ball handling errors in the second contact. So I think that maybe putting the hitters in a better location by the setters. But overall, Seton's just playing great volleyball, pretty high level, swinging away a lot and getting a lot of kills on the board.
For the seniors that you know on this squad, Rachel, how much does it mean to them to be in the postseason? Because look, at the end of the year, it's all about A lot of people don't realize a high school season, there's so much involved. This is not just starting the games, there's so much work ahead of time, the weightlifting, the training, and this is what it's all about. So for the seniors to be in this position, what does it mean to them for the ones you spoke to?
You know, I think it means a lot for the seniors, not just because of the work that they've been putting in the past year or so, but because we've grown up with the Seton volleyball program. I mean, John Engelbert took over last season or 2 seasons ago, correct? So we've seen him develop and grow this program, bring new players in. I mean, we've had a record almost 50 young boys try out for this volleyball program. So he's just really sparking this volleyball program at Seton. So I think that it means so much more to make a playoff run for these boys to represent John Engelbert and what he's cultivated here at Seton.
No question, he has the team going in the right direction, a lot of enthusiasm, and a lot of kids motivated to play for the squad as the Sentinels do a good job at the net to go up 23-15 with Burns on the serve, doing a nice job nailing it on that back end. And the Saints doing their best to get it across. Johnson, Rieger, Burns, and right there in the middle, Enzo. And Enzo bringing the power, and the Sentinels now a point away.
Love that setter middle connection right there. Great set by Alejandro. Still a young setter for this squad, only a sophomore. It's going to be exciting to see him develop as a player.
Alejandro fires it across. Looked like Martin Hammond was giving in. Saints keep it alive. Parada, Armin, and Armin does it. The blaster that the Saints can't recover. And the Sentinels take the first set, Rachel, 25-15.
What a quick set. That set flew by for sure.
And no question, so for the Sentinels, the opening set, they take care of business. You've been in this situation so many times. How important is it to be on home court, take the first set, and have the momentum going into the second set?
You know, I think that having this momentum is going to be great, especially for the seniors. Playoffs in general is just a pretty emotional time. I mean, like I said earlier before, it's do or die right now. So these boys, Notre Dame, there's a lot of stress going on after this first set, especially losing 25-16. They need to clean up their side of the net a little bit. So I think that for both sides, they're riding pretty high right now on a lot of emotions, whether they're high or low.
And I think what you saw is something we talked about, Rachel. One of the keys for the Sentinels was getting Martin Hammond, the big, tall, athletic middle, out of position for the Saints. And later in the second half of that first set, they did just that. What did you see from the Sentinels in that later stage of that first set that got Hammond out of position?
You know, I think that if you're looking from Notre Dame's side, it gets pretty discouraging if you can't put the ball away. I mean, if you're swinging over and over again, you're not really scoring points. And two of the top point scorers that Notre Dame has are Martin Hammond and Timmy Matura in the middle. And so when Seton's getting Notre Dame out of system and they can't run their middles, it's really frustrating to not put the ball away. Rallies seem to go on forever. So I think that that's what Seton was doing last set.
So John Engelbert and his team talking things over. We'll take a short time out here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. After one set, the Sentinels, loud and proud, taking the first set. We'll have more from the playoff play-in right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. So we are seconds away from the second set between the Seton Catholic Sentinels and the Notre Dame Prep Saints in the playoff game right here from John J. McMahon Gym. Sentinels victorious, dominating the first set 25-15. Now we head to the second set. On the floor for the Sentinels, Isaiah Kubisak, Nick Parada, Alejandro Burns, Enzo Palmieri, Armin Abdal, Jonathan Johnson-Rieger, and not just Bobby Heim, but Mr. Heim. And on the other side, for the Saints, the tall, cool one, Martin Hammond, number 11. On the serve, Nate Weber. And we'll touch on the rest of the Saints lineup shortly as Weber getting ready to knock this one across. Abdal on the back end, Burns setting up that right side. Good work by the Saints, just trying to keep it alive, but Parada bringing the thunder from the right side, and just a great way to start that second set for the Seton Catholic Sentinels.
Yeah, Parada has a heavy arm there. He's swinging pretty hard, so I love to see the 6'2" and get him involved as a hitter.
Enzo Palmieri ready to do some damage. The senior middle hitter. Been a factor down the stretch for the Sentinels. Good serve across. Saints setting up their right side. And there is Seton, combination of Parada and Mr. Heim doing the damage.
There we go. I love to see that duo of Parada and Robert Heim there on the right side. They're both very talented blockers. They reach high, press over the net. They're a great duo.
And what's been very impressive in this playoff play-in is to see Bobby Heim inserted in that starting lineup as Enzo gets that across. Saints trying to attack from that right side. Palmieri gets it up. Burns setting up Parada, who knocks it across. Hammond on the back and hits the rafter. Saints just trying to keep it alive. Armin in perfect position. Burns, Parada fires it across. Hammond couldn't handle the laser, and the Saints now looking at a 3-0 deficit.
Yeah, there we go. Parada once again with a heavy swing. Love Alejandro's putting him in a great spot there. And I think that Alejandro's setting location for the right side is very consistent tonight.
And what are you seeing from the sophomore? I mean, obviously he's progressed throughout the season, and he looks like he's really blossoming into that center role, setting up his players very well and knowing where they are on the floor at all times.
Yeah, I think it's very important for setters to be leaders on the court. And Alejandro as a sophomore can be tough as an underclassman sometimes, but as you said, he's very blossoming into that role, getting more vocal, more confidence on the court, and it's very well shown. And of course the laser by Special K.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big time.
No other words except wow.
Kubisak ranging with the clouds on that hop. And once again, Alejandro Burns setting him up in perfect position, and a 4-0 Sentinels lead with Enzo going back to work on the service.
Alejandro's hands are looking very nice tonight, very clean.
Nate Weber, Kubisak in perfect position. Parada's there. Parada fires it up, and this time a little too much power. And Notre Dame picks up its first point as Johnson-Rieger steps in. Enzo Palmieri takes a breather.
Yeah, what a great nice off-blocker defense by Isaiah Kubisak. He's really been working hard tonight, getting all those balls up in front of the 10-foot line. It's important to note.
Kubisak doing a nice job as Burns sets up Kubisak. Hammond knocking it up front. Johnson-Rieger there. Alejandro, Bobby Heim, and Bobby plants it perfectly.
Johnson-Rieger with the dot right there. Perfect position for Robert Heim to come in and dunk it straight down.
So far, we've seen the Sentinels be on point, setting up their hitters perfectly, and that's going to bode well for them if they can get through this first-round matchup, hitting into the first round of the playoffs as Parada gets it across. Hammond setting it up, and good block by Seton at the net. The combo platter. Parada this time. Kubisak. Hammond saves it on the back end. Saints just get it across. Johnson-Rieger. Parada this time. Heim over the middle, and Heim says, "How you doing?"
What a swing by Mr. Heim. I'd love to see Nick Parada looking over at the other side of the net before he set that ball, just to see where his blockers are at. That's a high volleyball IQ play there. He put Mr. Heim up there with only one blocker. Easy put away for him.
Parada gets it across. Hammond on that back end. Hammond could not set up his teammates, so now a 7-1 Sentinels lead. And if you're Andrew Clark, you got to be thinking that timeout could be coming here if the Sentinels should get another point.
Yeah, tough serving by Nick Parada.
Parada on a roll right now, rolling off the points. Big lefty fires it up. This time the Saints handle it well. This time, big time thunder by the Saints, courtesy of Gabe Garcia. And now Notre Dame trailing by 5 with an uphill battle as Timmy Matura looking to go to work on that service line. And now we see Martin Hammond at that net, and we'll see if that's a factor. Him and Bobby Heim could do some damage there. That ball hits the Raptors. Good work by the Sentinels just getting it across. Prada doing a great job there. Saints on that right side, and big time heat as Garcia delivers again.
Yeah, Gabe Garcia, when he gets going, he is a dangerous player. He's a very experienced volleyball player, been playing for Aspire Volleyball Club a couple of years now, and when he gets going, he can put that ball away, so it's important for Seton to slow him down.
So here comes Timmy Matura firing across. Johnson Rieger, Parada, right side. And David Nakla getting up like a champ.
David
and
Nakla
scoring.
Flying high, seeing that low seam, just putting that ball away. Love the positioning by Nick Parada. Again, the setters on Seton's side tonight are just doing a fabulous job.
Kubisak fires it across. Matura gets it up. Notre Dame almost found the soft spot on the floor as Kubisak gets it across. Mature on that back end. They're trying to set up Martin Heim. Make that Martin Hammond. And Hammond fires it across and gets the winner.
Yeah, Johnson Ryger got a great touch on that, but not much you can do when Martin Hammond's just swinging over the top of the Seton block. It's just a great swing by Hammond. You have to move on to the next play.
Cameron Hartman fires it across, and that one goes long, and the Sentinels get it right back. So it's Johnson Rieger going to work as Enzo Palmieri steps in. Bobby Heim takes a breather. Palmieri, Armin Abdal, David Nakla on the front line. Kubisak, Parada the back end with Johnson Rieger serving. Fires a missile across, and the Saints just trying to get it across. They do just that. Kubisak great on that back end. Parada setting up Nakla. Good work. Make that Armin Abdal and gets it over a couple trees on the front line for the point.
I love that out of system play. I mean, Kubisak, ball was hit the rafters possibly, but a little bit of mistrack there on the location, and Nick Parada goes in, aggressive setting, using his hands about 18 feet off the net, and Armin just swings away on that. I love to see that. And an ace serve by Johnson Rieger, once again, consistent.
That's what it's all about. Capitalize on your service game, and Johnson Rieger doing just that. Here he is, firing one up right in the middle. Matura could not handle it, and another point for Seton. A 12-4 Seton lead. Sentinels have rolled off 4 straight points and a timeout on the floor with Notre Dame needing to regroup, and John Engelbert and his team all good on home court, winning the first set 25-15. Now second set up 12-4.
You know, I think Seton's made really great strides tonight. I mean, this does not look like the same team as Mesquite, playing against Mesquite. I mean, the setters putting the ball in great location. The service pressure is off the charts. I mean, Enzo Palmieri, very fleeing serve. We talked about this a couple of games ago. Fleeing, combination of the words flat and clean. It's what you're looking for in a float serve. It's very hard to pass. You can see the ball moving back and forth as a passer. It's just hard to get a hold of, and Seton's just putting great pressure on.
Putting great pressure is the key, as the Sentinels on a little bit of a run right now and doing it and building some momentum for the rest of this set, leading 12-4. And right now for the Sentinels, if nothing's broke, you don't need to fix anything. And if, on the other side for Andrew Clark, you're in an uphill battle right now, trailing by 8 after dropping the first set. What is Andrew Clark? What's the message for his team?
I say the message for his team is to get a better pass. Or serve receive isn't really on the money here, so it's hard to set up their hitters, and I'd really just focus on that first contact for the Notre Dame prep side.
So here come the Sentinels. Johnson Rieger gets it right in the middle. Martin Hammond trying to bring the lumber, and Hammond fires the heat between Armin and Enzo Palmieri. And that stops a run by the Sentinels, now 12-5 with Gabe Garcia on serve. Garcia fires it across. Johnson Rieger, Parada doing it up. Johnson Rieger just getting it across, and a little too much umph on that. So 2 straight points for the Sentinels as Coach Engelbert giving his team a little support from the sidelines. Rieger, good setup by Parada, and this time Armin right into the net. And the lead now at 12-7.
Unforced errors from the Seton side. I think that we talked about this a bit last set, but Seton was doing a great job of managing those sets that aren't necessarily in the perfect spot, and in that situation, if you're Armin, you want to manage that set a little bit better. Just keep the ball in play so your team has an opportunity to score when it comes back over.
Rachel, also in this match with the Sentinels taking the first set and having that 12-4 lead, if you're Coach Engelbert and the players themselves, how do you not go about getting overconfident and complacent in this match?
I think that staying at your level of play can be difficult when you're so far ahead in the game, and so what they need to do is just keep communicating and controlling their side, just focusing on what they can do on their side of the net, and each player doing their individual role.
So the Saints get the point as Martin Hammond steps out, and if you're the Sentinels, that's a good thing. Get him off the floor. Nathan Scharb on the serve, and that one goes out, and the Sentinels get it right back, 14-8, as Armin goes to work. And Armin, 5'10", incredible hops, only a junior, and that's going to be a weapon for John Engelbert to have for another year.
Yep.
Armin fires it across right in the middle, and that's a good serve that the Saints cannot dish up.
Yeah, Armin's only going to get better from this point on. He can expand his toolbox a little bit more as a hitter and incorporate more roll shots and tips to find more ways to score, especially as a bit of an undersized hitter. But that vertical and increased toolbox, he's going to be a great weapon next year.
And Prada at that net, wasn't sure if that was going to go over or not, got high and let it go over the net. So the Saints, on the misjudge by Parada, get the ball back now 15-9. Nate Weber on the serve. Good work by Armin, that backhand. Alejandro Kubisak just whips it across. Saints, left side, firing it. Armin, that backhand. Alejandro setting up the right side. Parada bringing the heat. Saints do a good job answering. They fire it up. Armin, that backhand. And this time it's knocked over. Cameron Hartman in a perfect position. Point blank delivers. And the Sentinels lead now down to 5, 15-10.
You know, Seton's block is looking great tonight. Not really getting used too often by the other hitters, pressing over the net, getting solid touches that are really helpful to defenders. The block is just looking great.
So Isaiah Kubisak kind of looking at the sky, say, look, that's on me. I just missed that one. John Sariger doing a good job digging it out. Parada fires it up, and a much-needed winner by the Sentinels, stopping a 3-0 run by the Saints. 16-11 as Enzo Palmieri going to work. Parada, Kubisak, Heim, Burns, Abdal, and Enzo Palmieri on the floor for the Sentinels with a 16-11 lead here in the second set. Saints right there, and Kubisak making amends.
Thumped it down there. Great swing by Kubisak. Nice read on the overpass. Overpasses can be hard to hit sometimes, just judging when they're coming over and staying out of the net, but Kubisak, of course, did a great job handling that.
Kubisak makes it look easy, skying and delivering. Sentinels up 6, 17-11. Palmieri going back on the floor. Letting this one rip across. Saints getting into their offense. The knock across. Heim there to deflect it. Right side, Kubisak. Does he get the call? And they rule that in favor of the Saints. A miss hit.
Yeah, Seton might have to get a license there. It's a weapon there on the outside from Kubisak.
17-12. Heim, the fake. Parada, this time on the deflection. Up and gets the point. Sentinels with a 6-point lead. Naklo stepping in. Burns stepping out. And I got to tell you, Rachel, I didn't see a lot of Alejandro Burns early in the season, but no question, he has such a bright future, and you kind of talked about it. He's going to do some good things for this Sentinels program moving forward.
Already made a solid impact on this season as just a sophomore. It's going to be great to have him in the lineup for the next 2 years.
Kubisak, high and hard. Big time thunder. And the Sentinels with a 7-point lead. Kubisak, 258 kills coming in and just killing up the floor with another lethal dose of Special K.
What a swing by Isaiah Kubisak, thumping that ball down.
And on that backhand, Armin doing wonders and just gets it across. almost found the soft spot on the floor. Matura fires it up, and Matura gets the winner on the deflection.
Yeah, solid dig by Ramin in the back row. Great read by him.
So the Saints hanging around. Lost the first set 25-15. Now trailing by 6 in the second, 19-13. With Timmy Matura, Kubisak, Parada, Nakla almost mishit and does a great job. Or make that, was that Kubisak look like he might have mishit at a different angle, or might that have been Nakla. Correct me if I'm wrong, needs to say Sentinels get the point.
Whatever works, works. Whatever way to score the point is what's gonna work.
Kubisak fires it across. Garcia brought the heat right between Heim and Nakla.
There we go. Big swing by Garcia, tooling the block. Not very common for him to tool that right side block.
Saints have got life. They're treading water as Cameron Hartman on the serve. Trailing by 6. Kubisak sets it up beautifully. Parada and Bobby Heim fires it across. Question is, the refs talk it over in favor of the Saints. And the Seton lead now down to 5, 20-15.
Nonetheless, love to see that swing by Robert Heim.
And the Sentinels love to see that. Ball goes right back in the net. As the Saints could not capitalize as Johnson Rieger goes to work. Sentinels 4 points away from a second set victory. Matura gets it up. Casey Hartman. Hammond gets it across. Parada. Johnson Rieger setting up Armin. Armin almost found the soft spot. Almost hit the rafters. Martin Hammond gets it across. Johnson Rieger. Parada. Right side. David Nakla. Nakla fires up the winner. And just great execution by Seton. So on point in different levels of the floor.
Yeah, both Nick Parada and Alejandro are just doing a great job of that back set. Same location every time, even with different setters. They're really pinpointing that location. It's awesome.
Johnson Rieger rips it across. Tyler Schaub doing some good work for the Saints, and Nakla trying to get in the middle. Matura was there. Garcia gets it across and almost hits the back of the gym. And the point in favor of Seton. And now the Sentinels close again. And another timeout on the floor. So for Notre Dame, they close within 5, and then Seton gets it back in gear, rolling off 3 in a row.
Yeah, I think Seton's doing a great job around the service line, is keeping their serves in, and Notre Dame struggling with that first contact. And when that first contact is there, the second contact's not necessarily putting in a great location. And when they do, Gabe Garcia and the two Middles and Hammond and Matura are putting that ball away. So I think that they can just focus on that first and second contact to give their hitters more opportunities, and Notre Dame could be dangerous.
And Rachel, we kind of touched on this. What have you seen? And we saw the Sentinels in an epic clash, losing to Mesquite in the regular season finale, 3-2 the final. What improvements have you seen from the Sentinels from that match to this first round play-in?
So many improvements. I think that they were still switching up the offense on what they were running between a 5-1 or a 6-2 on Seton's side, and when they stuck with the 6-2 with Alejandro and both Nick Parada setting, it gave options to have 3 hitters on the net, which is important because it's just more options to score, which just makes a really big difference. And their overall serve and pass game has been heightened.
So the Sentinels up 23-15. Johnson Rieger back on serve. Gamez now in. Kubisak taking a breather. Enzo Palmieri, Abdal. Nakla on the front. Parada, Gamez, and Johnson Rieger. And here we go. Good serve. Doesn't land in.
Ace serve by Jonathan.
Johnson Rieger. Notre Dame on that back line thought it was going to fall long. Instead, it falls in. And now Seton a point away from taking the second set. And Coach Engelbert on that sidelines talking to his assistant coach and feeling good about where his team is right now. And if you're a Seton fan, you got to love what you're seeing from your team.
Yeah, John Engelbert talking not only to his assistant coach, but best friend, Drew Betlock. They've been playing volleyball, won the 2016 state championship here at Seton Catholic, so goes a lot more beyond those roots of just assistant and head coach.
Matura gets it across. Gomez at back line. Parada, Nakla blocked at the net. Parada setting it back up. Johnson Rieger. Bump across by Armin. Saints on that back end, needing to work it. And Hammond gets it across. Gomez, Parada, right side. Armin fires it up, gets it back up. Enzo Palmieri at the net. Martin Heim make that Martin Hammond at the net, and Hammond just enough to get it across and a point, and to keep the Saints alive in this second set.
Yeah, Seton just 1 point away from closing out this set. I'm really enjoying Seton's court presence. Just all 6 of them on the court.
And this time, good work by the Saints on the left side of the floor. Tyler Schaub in a perfect position. And the Saints not going away just yet. They're alive and kicking, trailing by 7. Gabe Garcia on the serve. With the Saints trying to rally back and take this one. Gomez on the miss. And here are the Saints rolling off 3 straight points to avoid a second set loss. And Garcia gives it right back, and that is it. Sentinels take set 1 25-15. They take the second set 25-18. Rachel, what'd you see in the second set from the Sentinels?
Just solid, clean volleyball from the Sentinels. It's a huge improvement from the last game that we saw. They just look a lot more steady. Like I said, building more upon that court presence. Change in the lineups. A couple you have are Mr. Hines staying in as a 3-rotation middle starting. He just brings a whole new level of excitement, gets the team fired up. You love to see the presence that he has. And Jonathan Johnson-Reiger wearing the libero jersey is a very calming presence on the court. I think it helps mellow out their serve-receive. And again, the 6-2 with Alejandro and both Nick Parada are both good leadership roles on the court for Seton Catholic.
So the Sentinels taking care of business so far in the first 2 sets. We'll take a short time out here on the Seton Catholic Network. The Sentinels in the playoff playing game, leading the Saints 2-0. More from John J. McMahon Gym in just a moment. So we're gearing up for the third set here at John J. McMahon Gym. Sentinels and the playoff play-in on home court against Notre Dame, a squad they lost to back in April in 5 sets. And now the Sentinels with the opportunity to turn the tide, maybe getting this one in 3 as Johnson Rieger playing a little rock, paper, scissors. And it looks like Johnson Rieger will be on the winning or losing side.
Oh, Michael Bastion, the line judge, took the win.
And, you know, hopefully Johnson Rieger will win the match instead of losing the rock, paper, scissors war. So now we're back to live action. Look, we like to have fun here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network, and we hope you're enjoying us as well. Joe Pequeno alongside Rachel Martinez from the women's volleyball team. Rachel, of course, a great legacy here at Seton Catholic, on her way to play college at Colgate, where she'll continue her illustrious volleyball career, and so fortunate to have her on the telecast. And Rachel, here we are getting ready for the third set. What do you want to see from Seton to close this one out?
I would love to see Isaiah Kubisak swing as hard as he can and smash that ball at the 10-foot line. I don't know about you, but that sounds great.
I love to see Kubisak getting high and hard and just bringing the heat anytime he gets the opportunity. Sentinels first to 15, and this one is over. And this time the ball drops in the middle of the net. A little soft spot between the front line as Johnson Rieger came up and tried to save it. So Notre Dame draws first blood in this one. Nate Weber back on serve. Armin is there. Enzo Palmieri fires it up. And Seton answers right back.
Yeah, Enzo's having a big night for Seton, just getting great touches off the block and putting that ball away where they need it. Wasn't even a full 100% swing. He's just finding the open court, and that's all you need.
Bobby Heim in. Enzo back to serve. Parada, Kubisak, a very athletic front line on the floor. Right there. And Parada wasting no time, bringing the left-handed hammer and a 2-1 Seton lead.
Heavy hand by Parada. Great swing.
And Rachel, look, you've been here on a home floor, and you see like the parents with the signs and the support. What did that mean to you as a player when you got that support and for the Seton players right now?
You know, it means a lot to have the support, not just from all the parents there with the signs, but also the red zone and the flamingo. It's just so much more fun to play an energetic gym where the fans are getting into it, being loud, and I know it means a lot to the seniors. So this could be one of their last game in the Seton gym.
Kubisak, the fake, and Parada comes up and fires it up. Number 13, big time heat, and a 3-2 Seton lead. Nakla stepping in, Burns stepping out.
Big smile by Alejandro. Love to see that. He just set their hitters up in a great position. A lot of the props of that play go to the setter. He's setting up where to set each hitter and just put Parada in a perfect spot.
Parada with the great serve as
off
that one off the rafters, and it's still in play. That one off the basketball court that was loosened up top, and Bobby Heim says, enough of this, I gotta end this point.
Mr. Heim, calm, cool, and collected after that amazing kill.
Yeah, and that was a point itself as the ball trickled off the basketball hoop that's currently put away. Parada fires it up. Gabe Garcia trying to bring the heat on that right side. Combination block, and the combo plotter of Nakla and Heim get it done.
Robert Heim is just ready to go. The lateral movements, jumping high. He is locked and loaded tonight.
And here comes Parada with an opportunity to build on this 5-2 Seton lead. Fires a good one across. Saints on that backside. Garcia just a little bump over. And this time, point goes in favor. And that stops a run and a much needed point for Notre Dame as they cut the lead to 2 as Timmy Matura goes to work. And Rachel, you kind of talked about it. Gabe Garcia, a very good volleyball player. Notre Dame hasn't put him in a good position to take advantage of his skill set. And Parada right there to the right side. Kubisak just goes it across. Martin Hammond gets it across. Armin Abdal, right side. Kubisak fires it up. Matura's there. Gabe Garcia gets it across. Big time thunder, and Bobby Heim delivers. And the point.
What a swing by Bobby Heim. And if you see that, you saw one of the spectators getting up and flexing there with Mr. Heim.
Bobby Heim. Sentinels drawing closer. Kubisak fires it, Mature on that back end. Nate Weber gets it. And this time the return is long by Tyler Schaub. And a 7-3 Seton lead. Kubisak, Matura, Hammond. That right side, and that one not enough by Cameron Hartman. And Seton is rolling. They are closing in.
Yeah, Robert Heim fully committing to the right side there, and both him and Armin were closing that block up. Again, Seton's block is doing fantastic tonight.
Kubisak, Garcia brings it from the left side of the floor, and Garcia brings it, and a rare, unfortunate no block return by Bobby Heim. Now 8-4, Notre Dame clinging to its playoff life. Cameron Hartman gets it across. Parada, Hammond at the net. Hammond.
Oh, kill. That goes in the stat books as a kill by Jonathan Johnson-Reiger. Love the coverage by him.
Excellent work, and he had just the perfect amount of touch over the athletic Martin Hammond in the middle. Johnson-Reiger going to work. So good on the service line. Mature on that back end. And there is Seton right there in perfect position. And who do they rule it? They rule it in favor of Seton. Now with a 10-4 lead, and Sentinels closing in, 5 points away from closing this one out.
15.
Johnson-Reiger going to work, fires it across. Saints try to keep it alive. Garcia, Parada, Kubisak, and great work by Johnson-Reiger. The middles of the Saints get it across. Parada keeps it alive. Johnson-Reiger, Kubisak fires it across. Martin Hammond in the middle. Hammond in perfect position. And the Saints not done yet. They're like Tom Hanks in Castaway. They're still on the island with an opportunity to potentially get off, but it's a long way from being rescued. As Gabe Garcia goes to work. And all I had to drop was the Wilson reference, and that one would have been perfect. So Gabe Garcia going to work from that left side on the serve, and that one is out. And the Sentinels, 11-5 lead. As Alejandro will go to work, the super sophomore. An opportunity to draw Seton closer. This one goes right into the net, so Notre Dame trailing by 5.
Yeah, Seton hopefully can side out in this first ball. Cut this little run here by the Saints.
So here come the Saints. Nathan Scharb on serve. Palmieri, Armin Abdal, Alejandro Burns, that front line. Johnson-Reiger, the back end with Parada and Kubisak. Very athletic group on the floor for the Sentinels. Nathan Schalb, Casey Hartman, Cameron Hartman, Gabe Garcia on the floor for the Saints. Kubisak, Burns, Parada feeding and delivering on that back end. Nathan Schalb, no opportunity.
Nick Parada is a difficult hitter to defend. I mean, he just swings away as hard as he can to the deep corners, really tools the hands of the blockers a lot. Pretty hard to read, just in general hard to defend.
Armin Abdal with the Sentinels 3 points away. Fires it up, a nice serve, almost finds the floor. Saints getting it across. Alejandro, Parada, soft touch, Garcia. Set in the middle, Burns, right side, Kubisak. Kubisak, that is blocked and in favor of the Sentinels.
Tool off the block by Isaiah Kubisak.
And you can't say enough about the set by Alejandro Burns, the sophomore, reading it perfectly, setting him up in a great position to use his athleticism. Armin gets it across, almost finds the middle floor. Perfect position, the Saints cannot handle it. Nathan Scharb diving and just cannot feed his teammates in the great position. Now, set and match point for the Sentinels. 14-6, Armin with the smile on his face. Gabe Garcia gets it up. Right side of the floor, and that one is into the net in favor of the Sentinels. And they go 25. Bear with me, apologize about that. So now 15-6, they go 25. That's why I have the star libero here with me to correct me if need be. Gabe Garcia knocks it across. Burns. And fired up on the other side of the net by Casey Hartman. So that ends a little bit of a Sentinels run. Of course, the Sentinels in good position on the floor. Parada, Enzo Palmieri, Alejandro Burns. The back end, Armin Abdal, Johnson-Reiger, Isaiah Kubisak. Weber fires it across, Johnson-Reiger. And that one just knocked over by the Saints front line. Give Tyler Schalb the credit, in perfect position. Didn't do much, but did enough and did some damage for the Saints.
Yeah, Seton needs to zero in and focus and not let up in this set. Hopefully side out this next ball.
Parada fires it up, and no doubter on that one. 16-8. Bobby Heim steps in. Johnson Reiger steps out. Good work by Johnson Reiger. Parada, Kubisak, and Heim on that front line, and that's a dangerous trio right there. Athleticism galore.
Yep, one of the best blocking lineups that Seton can have up front of the net.
Saints, little soft touch. Enzo finds it. Bobby Heim fires it up. Saints get it across. Enzo fires it up. Burns, right side, feeding Kubisak perfectly, and Kubisak delivers. Deflected off the hand of Timmy Matura, and now a 17-8.
Great swing by Kubisak. What I loved about that play is before that set, Enzo just kind of soft touched that ball up to Nick Parada, and Nick Parada's like, called the audible, said I have hands, and set Robert Heim there. It's just a great teamwork play. This is one of the best lineups that we've seen from Seton in terms of their team chemistry. Just quick audible, Nick Parada has that play, and they're ready to go, ready to score. That was awesome.
17-8, so John Engelbert obviously tweaked the lineup from the loss. Tim Mesquite has his team ready to play, looking sharp in this first round matchup. And for the team moving forward, if they could potentially move on and get into that first round of the playoffs, what do you want to see from the Seton Catholic Sentinels to have a chance to make her even farther run in the postseason?
You know, I would love to see a little bit more possibly physicality from Seton, just a little bit more harder swings. You see a lot of tough swings by Nick Parada. He's a heavy hand, and Isaiah Kubisak, of course, putting that ball away. But I'd love to see a little bit more action from the back row attack era of setting their outside hitters from the pipe and middle back. That would be really effective, especially later in postseason, to just have 4 active hitters at all times.
There you go. So having multiple attackers, always a good thing, especially if they could bring the thunder and lightning. And no question, Seton's got that ability to do just that. So Enzo Palmieri, an opportunity to draw Seton closer in front of the fan base with the flamingo, penny of pink, and of course the Gilligan hats out in force as well. And once again, Gilligan's Island, always a classic back in the day. And unfortunately, the SS Minnow's not here, but Enzo Palmieri is as he fires it across, and the Saints trying to stay alive. Palmieri in the back end. Armin giving it a chase and slides across the floor, and a point in favor of Notre Dame, now 17-9.
That was a solid service run by Enzo Palmieri.
Tyler Schaub and the Saints with an uphill battle. Armin gets it up, Burns, Bobby Heim, and Heim, the soft touch across. We've seen Bobby Heim do it with power. We've seen Bobby Heim do it with blocking. That time, little touch of finesse.
That is just not something that you always see from a first-year volleyball player. He knows when to bring the heat and swing away, when to utilize that toolbox and put the tip in the perfect spot. Robert Heim is just a diamond in the rough.
No question, first-year volleyball player, really bringing the goods for Seton in his first season. Parada rips it across. Saints almost losing the back end and do just enough to keep it alive. Armin's there, Parada and Heim. Soft spot on the floor. The Saints keep it alive. Johnson Reiger there. Parada. They go to the right side. Nakla gets it over. Saints get it to their hitter, Gabe Garcia. Good work, and they are ruling that in favor of the Saints. Too much contact with the upper body.
Yeah, Seton had some great scrappy digs in that play, though. That's going to be also very important moving on to playoffs, is getting that defense turned up a little bit more.
18-10, no question. They answered some big-time thunder by Notre Dame. So Timmy Matura on the serve. Johnson Reiger, Parada, and Bobby Heim bringing it. Now
wow.
A 19-10 Seton lead.
Mr. Heim just got up and completely unloaded, swung away, hit that ball to deep 5. If you look around the gym, I think you saw a lot of mouths just wide open, speechless. That was incredible.
Here comes Isaiah Kubisak, fires it right in the heart of Tyler Schaub, and Johnson Reiger on the return. Parada, big time heat by Armin Abdul.
Wow.
And a 20-10 Seton lead.
Armin putting that ball away. Just incredible team effort there. Johnson Reiger laying it out basically in the splits with the perfect dot to the setter. Nick Parada putting their hitters in a great position. Just loving this team chemistry here tonight.
Gabe Garcia fires that into the net. And Seton closing in. Now leading 21-10. And here comes Special K on the serve. Nakla stepping out. Mateus Benali getting an opportunity, the senior, to do a little work late in this third set. And everything going right for Seton right now. Rolling off the points. Rolling off 3 straight. Kubisak on the serve, fires a dart in the middle. Martin Hammond in the middle. And Hammond just too long on the return. We saw some good work by Martin Hammond early in this match. And meanwhile, the Flamingo making its...
Flamingo down.
Yeah, Flamingo down. Call 911. Kubisak gets it across. Hammond just rips a little soft little touch across, and that keeps Notre Dame's season alive. 22-11. But needs to say, regardless of this outcome, for Notre Dame to go 0-13 last year and to be in the postseason,
it's incredible. Says a lot about the coaching staff and the culture they've created. It's great for them.
And Benali going high, and Benali gets the point.
High off the hands. Great impact play by Benali as he comes in and is able to be a point scorer right away for the Sentinels.
23-11. Johnson Reiger stepping in. Sentinels closing in. Good serve in the middle. Matura cannot do anything with it. And now here we are. Set and match point for Seton. Johnson Reiger, I talked about his ability and his skill set on the serve. And here he is, gets it across. And Notre Dame cannot get it done. And Seton, a clean sweep, moving on, knocking off the Saints in 3. 25-15, 25-18, and 25-11. A great victory for, as we pose for a picture real quick, a great victory for Coach John Engelbert and his team, and Rachel, for this squad that came off their heartbreaking loss to Mesquite. There were some questions coming in, and they answered them in this first round.
Yeah, this was just a solid game by Seton. Probably some of the best volleyball that we've seen them play all year. Just clean serving, great setting. The setters were just on fire tonight, making their hitters look amazing. And overall, Johnson Reiger, great ball control, controlling the backcourt as a libero, and loving this team chemistry.
So this was just one of 8 play-ins. You also had Thunderbird and Mesquite, Bases Phoenix, Horizon Honors, of course. Seton, the 15th seed, knocking off Notre Dame, Combs and Eastmark in another play-in matchup. Peoria, ALA Ironwood, Saharo and Scottsdale Christian, Canyon del Oro and Sabino, and of course Marcos Deniza and Australia Foothill. So for this Seton Catholic team, they win, and they win impressively, taking Notre Dame in 3. What does that do for their confidence moving forward?
You know, I think going into this playoff game, not just knowing that they just knocked off a great, notable team as Notre Dame, but getting that chemistry going, getting that flow going, adds a lot of confidence for the Seton side.
And Isaiah Kubisak just whipping a water bottle that almost took us out. Okay, drive safely, young man. So Isaiah Kubisak, look, you talked about him coming into this match and how he was focused, the team was focused, and by the look of his face, he came out with a purpose today.
Yeah, he was excited, ready to go. He just has a great time playing volleyball. You can tell he loves to be there. He's an awesome teammate. Just one of the great players that you love to watch from the Seton program, truly encapsulating everything that John Engelbert was hoping to cultivate at Seton.
And Rachel, we don't know if we'll get another opportunity to do this, so you're about 3-4 opportunities to do live streaming. Coach Engelbert, thank you for dropping by. Your thoughts on being an analyst for Seton Catholic, to call games for your school, and what was the experience like for you?
I've loved this experience. I think that it's something that I've never done before, but it came naturally. I'm just talking volley for 2 hours, so it's something that I love to do, and definitely something I want to do in the future.
Rachel Martinez, let me tell you something about her. Not only a great student, not only a great leader on campus, a great volleyball player, a great analyst in her short time. She's on her way to play volleyball in her academic career at Colgate. We wish you nothing but the best, Rachel, in all your endeavors. You know, you're going to be sorely missed here at Seton Catholic, and all the good people here are going to wish you the very best because you deserve it.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.
That is Rachel Martinez, the star libero, on her way to Colgate. And if we get another opportunity to call a Seton game, of course, Rachel will be back. And of course, I'll be back as well. We appreciate all the good people at Seton Catholic. Greg Buchanan, Terry Lichten, the athletic department, nothing but the best. Paula Hutchison on the live stream, not here today, but Paula, wherever you are, we love you too, champ. Of all the great people here at Seton Catholic, a victorious day, a great day to be a Sentinel. The Sentinels move on in the playoff playing game, knocking off Notre Dame in 3 sets, 25-15, 25-18, and 25-11 in the third set. For Rachel Martinez, I'm Joe Pequeno. Thank you for dialing us up on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.